that's where everybody comes to play. And you either sink or swim.
But kid stuff.
This is done. The Indiana Pacers are on to the second round. Ron Artest and Paul Pierce, a little, well, not conversation, because Artest kept his mouth shut most of the series, and for the most part shut down Paul Pierce.
Past 3 years. No kidding. Game one of our quadruple header, Boston and Indiana, and Jermaine O'Neal, after the bucket throws to the floor. Here's a guy who has to keep his head no matter what throughout the playoffs, Steve.
Well, that's what this is all about. We all know that Jermaine O'Neal is a stellar player. We also know that he has a temper. He has to watch out because a guy, you know, when you got a guy that puts him in that position to basically set him up to...
At home, won Game 3, leading to this little Q&A with Mike Bibby of the Kings.
Has momentum shifted?
Shifted where?
To them.
Why? Because they won one game? I'm asking you. You asked me a question, I gotta ask you, right?
Well, yeah, but the
Answer
question was directed to you.
I know, but I asked you. I hit you with one.
It could be.
It could be. That's not a straight answer.
So what if I said yes?
That it shifted to them because they won one game? And I say you don't need to be doing what you're doing right now.
Probably not exactly the answer he was looking for.
Bench points now plus 11 for the Dallas Mavericks in this game with the foul as Bibby tries to dive in. What did they just say it was out of bounds? Out of bounds, 18. No. It is the third foul on Howard. They're delayed in giving us the number, but it was on Howard. It was his third. As you take a look at the bench points. And now we've got some jawing going on the floor.
Well, the longer a series goes, the more jawing you get. And that's, we got great referees on this game tonight. Danny Crawford, the crew chief here, is going to be all over the top of this game. Josh Howard, a hand coming off the floor, shot clock.
But if Sacramento takes those fast shots and misses, that really benefits Dallas.
That's exactly right. There's Sangailo's going to get an offensive foul. So you got to be smart. You got to be smart. Chris threw the ball in Nowitzki's face here.
We got tangled up with Nowitzki, and now Dan Crawford is going to separate the two. A third foul on Sangaila.
Let me follow up on that. When Sangaila was rolling to the basket, he had a smaller player on him. You know that that small player is going to fall down. You can't just try to run over the top of him.
Two veterans right there, Michael Finley and Doug Christie.
I think they've called a technical foul on Doug Christie. See, what happened was he did not want to give the ball to Nowitzki quickly so they could get the ball in play. But then after the scrum, he threw the ball up and hit Nowitzki in the face with it.
So Christie picks up the tee, and Steve Nash gets the technical free throw. Let's watch the end of the play.
Watch what happens here. Watch the ball's going to come up here. I guess it already did. See, ball hit Dirk in the face. Difference into this game. Here is, watch Christie as he picks the ball up. You're going to see him right here, throw the ball up in Nowitzki's face, and then Nowitzki does a smart thing and walks.
Sam Cassell over talking to Jeff Bzdelik, and whatever it was that got Cassell mad with what Bzdelik said has been patched up.
Well, Cassell was trying to take the ball out of bounds, and Bzdelik was kind of in his way, so Sam pushed him a little bit. Bzdelik said, I'm not going to take any of that. He pushed him right back.
And all you have to do is smile like Sam can smile, and that erases everything.
That's right.
With Sprewell.
See, he pushes him out of the way there, and
that wasn't a friendly push.
That's right. And then Cassell puts on the charm. He says, oh, I was just kidding, coach.
After the shove, he says, I'm only kidding.
Shove him first and then apologize.
Foul was on Sprewell, and the Timberwolves hold on and win it 84-82.
Well, the story of the game for Minnesota was its defense. And you'll see Trenton Hassel here matched up against Andre Miller. He did a great job on Carmelo Anthony all night. Does a great job against Miller. Rashawn Leonard tries the desperation rebound shot to no avail. Now we've got a little extracurricular activity here at half court.
And what a disappointment for this great crowd of 20,000 here, who one more against a scrappy Denver team.
And look at Barry and Sprewell getting after it. A lot of emotion here tonight.
It was an emotional game from the beginning, And it was emotional even with the comments made by both teams during.
At Game 4 in Denver, it was Latrell Sprewell and John Barry who really got into it after the game. These two were teammates for one season in Golden State. You might not have known that from this picture, jawing a little bit. John Barry is getting booed here in Minnesota every time he touches the ball. But he told me that this was nothing but good theater. And tonight you see them chatting. He said, I'm going to tell Latrell Sprewell, hey, that was good theater after Game 4, wasn't it? We got a lot of mileage out of it. He said if Latrell Sprewell agrees with him, great. If not, they'll see how it goes from there. But so far, things have been amicable between the two of them.
Miller, a nice job on Cassell there. Sprewell got Barry in the air and knocks down the jumper.
Great job by Cassell, taking the double team. Yeah, there you see Hassel playing that kind of defense that Cassell was talking about.
Another heat check for three.
Get excited, Spree!
The lead swells to 9.
Sprewell coming off the screen. Beautiful up fake. Puts it on the floor one time, then starts talking trash to his old teammate, Marcus Camby.
And then from three-point land where Minnesota has outscored the Nuggets by a dozen from outside the arc. And that one gives the Wolves their biggest lead. 2:47 remaining first quarter. Timberwolves now by 9.
Holla! I don't think John Barry's going to be buying a summer home here.
Oh! Marcus Camby throws one in.
That's what I'm talking about. You can't keep settling on those outside jumps.
Camby just got a tee because he kind of had something to say to the Minnesota bench after he got that dunk. Steve Javie said, I will have none of that.
The refs are taking no guff tonight. Here's a look. Camby got a nice screen off there and threw it home. And then that was the Minnesota bench in the general vicinity.
You know,
Michelle, I know you were close.
I was close. When he turned to the bench, he looked at him and said, what's up? They didn't like it. A couple of them almost started to stand, but believe it or not, it was Sam Cassell who pulled everyone down, and the tee went against Camby.
Well, Michelle, I can tell you what's up. It's Minnesota's field goal percentage, 60%. I can answer that one for you, Marcus.
Hoiberg hit the technical, and Minnesota with 3 minutes to go in the half has a 55-32 lead.
Well, you know, there's a time and place to talk trash, but when you're down and you're almost doubled up on the scoreboard, that's not the time.
Oh, and Sprewell just shot that right through Camby, and now he talks to him on his way down court.
You're right, Sean. If that dunk was worth 25 points, and then he can say that. But then,
exactly.
Yeah, you see the two friends there. Sprewell made the shot and came down and had a little something to say to Camby, and Camby just laughed it off.
And Flip Saunders, for probably the 5th time in this half, just walked over, got Sprewell's attention, and put his palms down as if to say, Spree, would you cool down just a little bit?
No, Flip's talking to himself. Spree's not going to have any of that. He's having too much fun.
Garnett. And now big smile on Sprewell's face. This was the talking going on, and this is where Camby looks at the officials and goes, hey, how come he doesn't get a tee?
You can see they're old friends, and Latrell's just sticking his tongue out, and Marcus was laughing about it.
And now the chance of MVP.
And with a little bit of yapping, Marcus Camby, what's being said out there?
Nothing. MC and I are good friends, so it's just a little friendly trash talking, nothing major.
All right, thanks for stopping, Latrell.
All right.
Back to you guys.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Latrell Sprewell with a 15-point
defended by Camby. And Camby going after the ball, and nearly a steal. And all of a sudden, tempers flare. Not surprising, considering what has been said during the days off and the physical aspect of the last game led by Denver, and it looked like Francisco Elson and Irvin Johnson were the two in the middle, although Garnett was the one who had lost the ball momentarily.
Well, I think it was Camby and Johnson who really got into it, and they're the two who are being separated now. You see John McLeod, the assistant coach for Denver, now getting out and trying to restrain Camby. Look at the time, Dick, that after Game 3, there was a little incident near the bus, near the Minnesota bus, where Francisco Elson and Garnett exchanged words. So there's a little bit of a history here from the previous game, and you can see emotions running high here for both sides.
And Irvin Johnson and Carmelo Anthony, double technical fouls are called. and Johnson as well, and Garnett.
2 from the field in game 4. Miller inside around Daniels, who makes a great defensive play, and they call a jump ball maybe. Greg Willard saw one thing, and the other official, Bennett Salvatore, saw the other. And so let's see what they call it. They're going to rule the jump ball. And I think that's the right call. That was a terrific defensive play by Daniels.
Yeah, excellent defensive play, and that's the type of ability this young fella has. He can play some point guard, but he's long and lean. He can play defense, and you see there an excellent block of Brad Miller's layup attempt.
But Dallas, Eduardo Nahara is back in the game. That is a layup inside. And you look at Don Nelson, who thinks that there should not be a foul on Steve Nash. And Christie makes it. It's a 5-point game. Nash picks up his first foul of the game, and a technical foul on Don Nelson. Stojakovic, 51 consecutive free throws. He last missed a free throw on March 21st against Houston. And that does go back to the regular season on that consecutive free throw streak by Peja.
Well, you can see why Don Nelson is upset. Nash with the mismatch takes the charge. His feet are planted outside that arc. That's a charge, and that's a difficult play for Don Nelson and his team.
Former New Jersey Nets star Jason Williams was found guilty on 4 of the 8 charges he faced, but was acquitted on the most serious charge of aggravated manslaughter. Sentencing has not been scheduled in his case yet.
Across to the steal. He has 2 fouls. Has to be careful not to get 3. Yeah, a devastating knockdown on Payton, but Francis falls. And we have a kicking foul on Shaq, I believe. If it is, it's his 3rd. It is. 3 on O'Neal. Look out! Oh! How about a deep leader? That's a good pick, too.
But the play here is Shaq just makes a silly foul. He's got 2. He gets beat. Let him go.
It's just a trip. It's almost like his feet got in the way.
He just should get out.
If you can let him take Shaq, you can't.
Yeah, took his time. Made the hoop. And I think we have an injury with one of the officials in addition to the technical fouls that are called. And the whooping behind the play. Eddie F. Rush may have been hurt. As we had the chat, emotions getting high. Yao got hit in the face to start it all. And a double technical foul is called. There's Yao with the hoop. And there, as the arms were locked with Fisher and Francis, Yao took the shot in the face. It is Fisher and Francis who are called for the technicals. We have a timeout with 1:51 to go.
Surrounded by Pistons, blocked but a foul. And Rasheed Wallace hit with a technical. The overly demonstrative reaction to the call prompted the technical. Good call by the officials on the technical. You can't show up the ref. Larry Brown, against doctor's orders, up out of his chair all the way to half court. Somebody's got to grab Rasheed and keep him out of there. Rasheed talking to Tony Nunez Jr., the rookie ref. Yeah, he seems to have, it's a good civil conversation. In fact, it's not a bad thing to do at this point. He's a rookie ref. They don't know each other yet. Go over and talk it over. How about waiting 2 or 3 possessions and then muttering under your breath before you calm, or talk to him after you calm down. And that's an easy play to call, right on the arm. He fouled him. Might not have been a hard foul, but he hit him on the arm. Jermaine O'Neal does not seem to be dangerous.
That could be dangerous. Easy foul.
Robinson on the pass-off is fouled, and a technical foul is called on Orlando. On McGrady for throwing the ball in disgust after that 3rd foul in about 30 seconds. The personal was called on Sean Kemp. And the T on T-Max. So Phillips makes the technical. Here's the whole situation.
Watch this. Yeah, I mean, Kemp's moving. Robinson, to give a little credit, he jumped into him, and it's hard to accept that one, especially the previous play. You feel like your guy got fouled. Tracy feels like he got fouled. And he's just saying, come on, call it even. If you're going to give that one to him, then I deserve the one down there. But now you got to be careful. Now you can't pop up to the official.
Mason spinning. The tip was missed by Smith. And a foul on Detroit, plus a technical foul. Paulus Williamson had something to say and was teed up. Williamson upset about the call at the other end. And Derek Stafford calling the technical on Williamson. Michael Redd will shoot the tee.
Hamilton saw that the defender had turned his head. Damon Jones turned around and looked at his teammates as if to say, who's covering that? But wide open for the cut.
Foul is called once again. A reach-in against Detroit as Damon Jones tried to take it to the rim, and Larry Brown is upset. Foul is on Phillips.
What had happened was Jim Clark had made the call, turned to the table. Larry Brown had come out onto the floor. As Jim Clark turned around, he put his hand on Larry Brown and asked Larry to move back off the court. That's what started that little confrontation right there. Here's where he asked Larry to please get off the floor. Larry took a little bit of offense to that right there. Looking down at the arm. Yes, not a big thing.
He said, don't touch me.
Not a big thing.
And now Dick Pavetta blows the whistle.
Was hot over the last 6 weeks. Anthony Peeler for 3 here.
And now he's really important also because without Bobby Jackson, they need another guy, and he will be the guy.
And Don Nelson up and yelling and got a technical foul.
You see, Don Nelson is upset. He's saying that the guy was pushed into the man, and that's why the foul was called. And so he's voicing his displeasure, obviously.
Well, when you have a technical that he shot by Sacramento, I mean, who else are you going to put at the free throw line? Yeah. All Peja Stojakovic did was lead the league in that department this season.
Now watch Sungala, and see, that's what Don Nelson is upset about. He's saying that his guy, Dirk Nowitzki, is getting pushed. We're not doing a foul. And I got to say, it looked pretty clear that Don Nelson may have been right on that one.
Overs for the Kings. Jamison get a second chance inside. 10 for Antoine Jamison.
And you saw Howard on the defense and then cutting off the cutter and then comes down and just delivers the blow to Brad Miller's face. So we're seeing a Dallas team that's very aggressive and physical.
Rick Adelman's going to take a quick timeout here with 21.8 remaining in the third quarter. Brad Miller trying to shake off the effects of getting whacked right between the eyes. His team's getting it between the eyes right now, too. 83-59. There's where it happened right there.
It took 2 shots. It took a chin right in the...
Josh Howard was in front of him, and he came off shaking the cobwebs.
And now he's got an elbow, a shoulder, a chin, and an ear.
I don't know if Vitaly Klitschko will take one from Corey Sanders tonight. That's wrong. I don't know.
And you see the frustration, Brad Miller right there. Antoine James all over him. And Brad kind of throws an elbow to get off, and Dick Pavetta calls the foul on Jamison.
That's a third on Antoine Jamison.
See what Brad said. That's enough. Get him off me.
Miller, who's been banged up, Michelle, and he's got all kinds of problems.
You know, some of the beat reporters, Brad, who follow this team day to day, told me that about a week ago, Brad Miller could not raise that right arm.
Leader in that locker room, and the guys trust him on the floor.
And Doug, in low-scoring games, three-point shooting becomes even more vital.
Well, we talked about, remember, in the fourth quarter, the other night, the three-point shooting, there's the elbow in the face of Derek.